Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
I'd like to give my thoughts on the latest episode of Angry Video Game Nerd Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown for the Game Boy Color. Well, this one was interesting, I would say easily it's unlike any episode of the Angry Video Game Nerd I've ever seen. I'm thinking back on the one with Gilbert Gottfried. And you know what? That wasn't a great one, but I probably would rewatch that one over this, Because unlike this, it's got some humor to it. It does. Not the best. I don't know about this one. Because you'd see there's some things I liked about this. Well, let me go into how it begins, and I'm probably going to spoil it for a lot of you, so, no apologies. If I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to spoil things, all right? And a big shocker at the end of this also. Starts out interesting, because I see James, and he is strapped to a chair. Looks like he's going to be tortured, all right? I think there's maybe like a swinging light bulb or something at the beginning. Good production quality. Very good production quality. I noticed that. That's good. It's a good thing. And I was interested. Had me hooked. Like, wow, what's going to happen to James? And then they took me right out of it because the person that comes on the scene as the torturer is wearing the most god-awful, cheapest looking Shrek knockoff mask I have ever seen. It was a dollar store special. So they spend all this money into production, I'm guessing. And then they get like a $2 knockoff Shrek mask. Maybe it was done for humor. But here's the thing. Like, if you're trying to instill a sense of dread and then you jump right ahead into humor, it just doesn't work. Right? Just the whole writing on this whole episode just didn't seem to work. It was so jilted. I don't know. I would say the writing is what really suffered here the most, by far the most. When it comes to the actual Angry Nerd stuff in the middle, it's kind of like a sandwich, This is a sandwich right here. And maybe the bread's not that good and the meat's not that good, but it's got really good cheese. I would say this had some good cheese. There was some nice cheese on this sandwich. Small portion of it. I will say I really liked, I don't know if they used this before, I really liked the template, the antique TV template with the VHS lines going up and down. I don't know if they used that before, but I like that. I did. I like some of the Game Talk stuff where he talked about the Game Boy and the GameCube, and had frustration on how it didn't work for him. Okay, I like that stuff. I learned a couple things about the Game Boy player and things like that. I mean, that's not that bad. I think if this was maybe mostly all that, it wouldn't have been that bad in general. The stuff where he's playing the game and he talks about how Shrek died, obviously, and he was surprised that Shrek actually passed gas in the Game Boy Color game. I mean, think about it. It's pretty risque for the time. He's projectile vomiting and passing gas in the Game Boy Color game. It's pretty funny how he talked about, he's dead now, which will play into something later. Ironically, spoiler, gonna get this out of the way, James is dead. He was burned alive. They did a whole Wicker Man thing at the end, which was, they put some time into it. I'll say that, right? The setup and everything. It just was out of place. I don't get what's the Wicker Man and Shrek? What's the connection here? It didn't make any sense whatsoever. And you had like the Shrek worshippers and some subplot about, how do you think we got Shrek into the Library of Congress? And I just didn't care about that. Like Shrek was an interesting movie. Shrek was a kind of a funny movie. They could have done so much more with this because they had the production quality, right? What I did like was What else did I like? What else? Trying to reach here for some things I liked. Did I mention the production quality? Yeah, it was okay. Acting was not good. Now, that one guy towards the end, he wasn't that bad. I could tell he tried, but like he's trying to play it all serious, but he's wearing the mask, which again takes you out of it. It's a simple thing they could have changed, and it just didn't work. Like, just have a better mask. I don't know. Like, what do y'all think? Do you think it's a masterpiece? Do you think it's terrible? I'm curious. What do all of you think about it? I'm just taken out of it, and I really don't know what to think because, well, this was in storyline canon, the end of James. James is dead. Like I said, he is dead. He was burned alive, and his bones was playing around. So I don't know how they're going to bring James back. I don't get it. They probably will figure something out. Maybe they'll just have maybe this is the opening for a new Angry Video Game Nerd. Maybe they'll have one of the other Screenwave guys, come on for a little bit, and then they'll have some plot to where maybe James comes back from the future or the past, and it's a different James, or I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But this was 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Could have probably easily been maybe 9 or 10 minutes. Cut out most of that shit from the beginning or end. Where exactly does this Angry Video Game Nerd episode end? I'm going to see here. When does he stop talking about it? Around the 10, 11 minute mark, he stops talking about Shrek. And then there's 5 minutes of just, well, mostly kind of trash. I mean, literally, like he was thrown into a trash can. So that's kind of what I think about the ending of that, the writing of this. Mostly, but the middle was okay, decent. There's a really lame joke from James. A lame joke with the phone. He got a recent phone. He said this before, right? And it wasn't funny then, and it's not funny now. It might be my thumbnail I use here. I'm not sure what I'm going to use for the thumbnail. Maybe I'll use James, talking about his Raycons. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to mention also. 2 minutes into it, there's a minute-long Raycon shill piece. And you see James, he's rocking out with the Raycons, trying to tell us that, well, we need these expensive headphones and everything like that. The thing is, though, how do you get from being tied to a fucking chair, to jamming out to your Raycons? Maybe don't use that one in this one. Maybe, if you want to actually get me involved into the episode, guys, maybe just save that to the end or take that one out. Maybe don't just do anything here, but they couldn't resist themselves. Or maybe, hey, here's an idea, okay? Take your notes for next time. Some free tips for these great writers here. How about you have him in the Raycons and he's tied to the chair and he's really stressing out, but you know what? He's like, oh, I just remembered I have these Raycons in here. And he's like jamming out to some music and everything. Well, that would probably take you out of the scene too. But, oh, how about this? Maybe he's got the Raycons in there. Shrek comes in there. And then like he's listening to Smash Mouth or something. You're working it in. And then maybe Shrek actually does something scary. Slaps the Raycons out of his head and everything. And then like you see the Raycons on the floor, you do a zoom, and then you have maybe the promo code link down or something like that. Do something interesting or minimalistic or work it in, weave it in. Jesus. These people just can't write. They just can't write, good Angry Video Game Nerd episodes. So if the writing is not any good anymore on the Angry Video Game Nerd episodes, all you really have to fall back on is James and maybe the references to video games. So my advice going forward is to actually just have it be mostly that. And these weird segments with the movie stuff, if you can't do it good, just, don't have so much of it in an episode like this. I'll finish off here by saying I can't believe it. I got to go back and listen to make sure that they made this reference. And if they didn't and I heard it wrong, then please correct me in the comment section down below. But Did they make a reference to Shrek is love, Shrek is life? Okay. I don't know if that's actually a term used anywhere else other than those videos not quite ready for YouTube. Maybe you have to go to VMO. I don't know if those videos are available on YouTube. But if you type in Shrek is love, Shrek is life, you will see a truly crazy video, to say the least. It's truly nuts. I will not describe these, but I will say James would be terrified if that Shrek showed up. You know, if the Shrek is love, Shrek is life from those videos, which I'll not go into detail about, you know, I could see him actually being really fucking afraid of that Shrek. That is a horrifying Shrek. Also, a missed opportunity with The Wicker Man because, you know, there was no reference to bees. Bees, the bees, oh, fuck the bees. You know, come on. Like, do I have to write these episodes for you? You know, everyone else was expecting probably some reference to the bees. Or maybe if James could whip out a Nicolas Cage like impersonation or something. I forget what it was, but he did one good impersonation in this. But I can't remember. I can't recall what it was because there's just so much here that just confuses me. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about this episode of The Angry Video Game Nerd, who is, like I said, now deceased?